purposes and values of our freedom movement and these roots were painstakingly distilled into our constitution, creating the world's largest, most committed democracy, one whose electorate is larger than the population of almost all of the rest of the democratic world. Just the electorate is 910 million people. Sure, it's an incredibly noisy democracy, but democratic, to use a very British argot, it jolly well is. Is our democracy perfect? Is our society stable and peaceful? I could ask in return which large democracy is. But instead, let's recognize that a largely peaceful social transition is taking place in India, one that is seldom visible because, as I like to say, it is difficult to see the woods when you yourself are the trees. That transformation is being driven by the world's largest experiment in deployment of digital technologies for financial inclusion and better governance, by securing preferential access to affordable food, cooking fuels, healthcare, schooling, not for thousands, not even for hundreds of thousands, not even for millions, but for tens of millions of citizens. And all of this is being done in a democratic, evolutionary framework. And frankly, certainly not in what some sections of the media might make you think is underway in India. What we Indians sometimes see passed off as the norm in India is about as accurate as for Indians to expect to see people in armor placing heads and hung, drawn and quartered bodies around the city of London. It's about as archaic. And so, ladies and gentlemen, and friends of the India-UK partnership, as India rises, it does so through its global partnerships, especially with friends such as the UK. With the British people, we share history, values, culture, trade and investment flows, a living bridge of Indian people of Indian origin, who have contributed so much to British industry, healthcare, sport, I won't mention cricket currently, and, dare I mention it, politics. And indeed, further afield, cuisine. What would life be in London without curry nights and Cobra beer? A shout out to Lord Billimoria, wherever he is. We are working on a free trade agreement with the UK, and as I love to mention, in the home of the East India Company, Indian firms are today the second largest investors in the UK. And for those of you with a sense of history, who might be worrying about what comes after investors, don't worry, Indians aren't coming on boats.